Do I ever find that I need help in this type of a ministry? The short answer is yes. I feel like I need help. But God doesn't necessarily provided that help in many ways, and so apparently I don't really need it. But sometimes I feel like I need it, but it's because there are so many layers to that. So I'm just going to give you an example in case you're working or looking at having a similar ministry. First, a ministry like this is built on trust and a mastery of a particular content or like a message. And that takes time to master that content and to build the trust. And your voice and your insight can't really be delegated out. Because like I have studied for years about biblical counseling and what that looks like in everyday life and the scriptures that apply to it, and how do you work that in your marriage? How do you work that in your career? How do you work that in raising your children? What does that look like when there's conflict or anxiety? And those types of things, you just can't delegate it. Or writing music, the songs that God puts in my heart, I can't delegate that. But there are non-personal elements to this ministry that I feel could be delegated, and somebody could use that time. And I feel like I have less and less time as my children get older and they have more needs in regards to their education and becoming independent. But non-personal elements such as editing videos, I will record a lot of my YouTube videos or even these in a batch, but the YouTube videos take 2 to 4 hours to edit and then upload. Lyric videos, they can take 2 to sometimes up to 10 hours to plod those out and get them finalized and uploaded. And there's so many platforms to upload them to, and all of them take time and bandwidth, and you just sit there and then organizing, uploading things onto our webpage, then taking my music that I've written that's in my head and then putting that in a process to where I could make sheet music. Or recently I've been able to find some people who can help me create that sheet music, and what an answer to prayer, because that again can take 10 to 20 hours of my time, because it's not something I do regularly per song. And then learning how to format the books into ebook format, and just when we're writing books, refreshing yourself on how do you make sure that they match all the publisher's guidelines. Those are technical skills that take time but aren't necessarily personal. So in those elements, I feel like, oh dear God, it would be so wonderful if I could delegate this. But this is the sticky part, is that ministries are not paid. You know, this ministry is on my heart to help people, but most Christians are poor. And so the people who need it, if you charge them for everything, the value of what society would say your time is worth, it's not practical. So it's not even going to be seen on this side of heaven. There's no way that you can see it on this side of heaven. And so you can't pay somebody. Therefore, they have to just be really, really passionate about this ministry, and passionate enough to where they care about it in regards to their identity and your brand. Is it a quality? Like, are you giving quality content that's sound and reasonable and looks good aesthetically? And there's so many layers. And that's why I think you'll see so many duos, married couples, because they are invested. This is their livelihood. You have Chip and Joanna Gaines. You know, you have Studio McGee, which is the husband and wife. And Chris Loves Julie. It's a husband and wife. Girl Defied, it's 2 sisters. They start this together and they're invested together. Versus hiring somebody who can come in and out and nobody sees, and it doesn't matter if they leave. The person who's helping out behind the scenes, are they really invested, or are they just there to check off a box, got that done? So those are just some things to think about if you are considering this type of a ministry or helping somebody in this type of a ministry and building your skill set. So I hope that answers.